I think everyone in Ethereum is really working on this because they think this is like Ethereum has the potential to positively impact humanity. And like this is probably thanks to the values that Ethereum embraces.
Okay. Hey guys. Good morning. Good afternoon. So today I'm very excited. We have on Skylar from the Devcon team to talk about Devcon, which is upcoming in Thailand very soon. And yeah, Devcon will be in mid-November, and Skylar is leading the team. It's going to be the second, like the last Devcon was in Bogota, I believe, 2 years ago. So this is going to be the Devcon after 2 years. So Skylar, I can directly pass it on to you to talk a bit about what Devcon is and more details around it.
Yeah, totally. So thank you, Eda. Devcon is the Ethereum Developers Conference hosted by the Ethereum Foundation. So like you said, it happens once every 2 years and it rotates around the globe. So this year we will be getting together in Bangkok, Thailand in mid-November, November 12th to 15th. And yeah, we're expecting around 10,000 people. The content will range from technical developer workshops, technical talks, to content around the future of technology in general, the future of computing, frontier tech society, and things like that, and how Ethereum fits into the broader context of society today. So we're super excited for it.
One other thing before moving on to like the details of Devcon, so it's often mixed up with Devconnect too, like we were just chatting before. So what's the difference between Devcon and Devconnect event? Because Devconnect was in Istanbul last year, and I feel like there's often like a they're often mismatched with each other. So can you give a bit of a background about Devconnect as well?
Yeah, definitely. So Devconnect is also an event that the Ethereum Foundation puts on. We put on Devcon and Devconnect. Devcon is the original developer conference. So the first Devcon was Devcon 0. It happened actually 10 years ago, before Ethereum even launched. And since then, we repeated Devcon every year until in 2022. Yeah, or 20? Something like this, 2022. Yeah, 22. We had Devconnect Amsterdam, and so Devconnect is like a different format. So Devconnect is a week of many independent events. So the only thing we do is organize a co-working space throughout the entire week, and then there's an agenda of many independent events. Devcon, however, is a like one big event happening in one big venue. And so it's for 4 days. Everyone gets together in the same venue, same event. And we are actually trying to encourage, there will be side events, but we're trying to encourage them to take place before Devcon and after Devcon. So Devcon can serve as this shelling point for our global community. So that's how it's a little different than Devconnect last year, which was in Turkey.
And some really awesome like tracks. I know because I'm sort of participating in the developer experience track, but there's also like a cypherpunk track and a real world Ethereum track. So all of these are going to be happening under the same roof, along with community-led sessions. So maybe go through the tracks and maybe some of the community stuff that's all happening under the same roof.
Yeah, definitely. So I pulled up the tracks here. So we have core protocol, like everything around like current upgrades, like current research that's being discussed, upcoming EIPs, the upcoming Pectra fork. All of that will be discussed there. We have cypherpunk and privacy. So getting back to our roots of like, why are we here building Ethereum in the first place? And what are the values that make Ethereum so special and so unique? And many of these are like cypherpunk values to a large degree, right? Like internationalization, or like open and global accessibility, privacy. And so we have some really heavy hitters, some people that are like coming in from all over the world to talk about what are these cypherpunk values and why do they matter. We have usability. So how can you build not just like, functional applications, but like ones that work well, and like how can we onboard the, next billion people. And now we have things like account abstraction that are pretty well standardized. We have new cross L2 ERC standards. and things that hopefully can help us solve like the fragmentation that we have now, and like the user experience of opening up a wallet and interacting with an application on Ethereum. And so a lot of this will be covered in the usability track. All of like the latest ERCs will be discussed there. We have a real world Ethereum track. So we'll be covering a lot of like real world use cases of Ethereum, like what is actually being built today that's being used in real life and helping people in real life. We have applied cryptography. So talking a lot about like the latest like cryptographic primitives, how you can use these to build things on Ethereum, and what kind of superpowers they help you, they enable. So everything around like zero knowledge proofs to MPC, multi-party computation, to fully homomorphic encryption. And like we have both beginner sessions, so like intro to all of these concepts, and relatively advanced sessions to like how do you generate these, how do you write your own circuits and things like that. We have a crypto economics track focusing on all types of I guess like this new field of crypto economics, right? So when you combine like game theory plus crypto plus economics, you can end up in creating some really interesting mechanisms, like and mechanism design. And so we'll have some cool talks around that. Coordination track around like governance and DAOs, and like how can we use Ethereum to like create new types of institutions and govern those in different ways than like we've ever been able to do before. And developer experience, which is where like the BuidlGuidl will be helping us with a lot of content, and yeah, lots of other tooling, demos, workshops, and things like that. We have security and layer twos. And so the layer two is covering all sorts of things around, around what are the latest updates with layer twos? How is their progress moving along? Like now, like how can you develop on them? So you have cheap fees, fast transactions, etc. And that's about it. We have 10 tracks.
And behind the scenes, you have thousands of people submitting talks to these tracks, and then community experts helping you judge how good they are. But behind the scenes, you just have like an army of talks and stuff all coming together. And this is for all these different tracks. What about the community-led stuff? It sounds like you're even bringing in some community-led sessions and some of those things.
Yeah. So we've had 3,000 applications for these tracks, and we actually like reviewing them tonight. I mean, this is gonna come out in a couple of weeks, but like, this is a lot of stuff we have to do right now. But beyond just like the applications, you're right. We have these community-led sessions. So full-on days that we dedicate, where we dedicate a certain room to a certain theme organized by someone who's really, really familiar with this theme. And so a few of these that we have are, we have for one, I'll start with some others. We have 0x Park organizing one around autonomous worlds and MUD. So like the MUD framework for creating like really efficient, but also like interesting autonomous world games. So basically like the ability to run on-chain games, fully on-chain games, things that live on top of Ethereum and like perhaps run forever, which I think are really interesting. We'll also be doing a one about programmable cryptography and like a new type of data format they're calling in the pod, which is very friendly for performing cryptographic operations. And like they believe that like this new like programmable cryptography, and specifically like second generation cryptography that's now available, which includes like generalized zero knowledge proofs, MPC, FHE. Like when you combine all of these together, you enable certain new functions that like you enable a new type of internet. This combined with Ethereum really gives us some superpowers. And so like they'll have an entire self-led session or community-led session around those topics. So you can ramp up from 0 to programmable cryptography hero. And then we have BuidlGuidl. So you guys are going to be organizing a community-led session. Maybe you can talk a little bit more about that, actually.
Yeah, tee me up. I think we're going to have like a whole day, right? And then in the
Yeah,
morning, we'll do introductory content. Like, here's how you get started building on Ethereum. Here's the initial tools. Here's how you learn to tinker. Here's how you get the syntax down. Here's your first couple builds. And then we break at lunch. And then in the afternoon, we've got Carlos putting together a really cool capture the flag for us that will be kind of like medium to hard content that will help you up your security and building game. So the Build Guild is definitely coming in force. There's a bunch of us.
amazing. Yeah, it'll be an entire day. Ayla, you have something to add to that or no?
Yeah, I'm super excited for that too. And you said a few things which I was super interested in. So, Devcon is like not just for experts, because I feel like most of the tracks are kind of like you need to be in the Ethereum world, like know a few things when you read them out loud. But it's also catered toward beginners as well. So you might like, I think that's very important to not be afraid to like come and apply to join the Devcon event in general. And I really like the social side of things, because although like we're mostly technical and like going there for like the technical workshops and meeting them, I think it's important to come together, like meet in real life. I know like whenever we meet with like Austin and like the Build Guild, you get a lot more done than when you are like around the world. It's just nice to have that social connection. But I kind of want to talk about ways to prepare, because, well, not just prepare, but like what's coming before DevCon, because there's a lot going on, especially in Southeast Asia. I know Chiang Mai is one of the most popular areas. So can you talk a bit about like the cities, or like what's like the best way to prepare and like have some background knowledge so that you can get the most out of the event?
Yeah, totally. So I would say starting in mid-October, there will be a large group of people, many people heading to Chiang Mai for like I think 6 or 7 pop-up cities, like these temporary like cities, villages of many people interested in different areas within crypto and like crypto adjacent technology, or even like not relevant but interesting technology like longevity research and things like this, all living in Chiang Mai before DevCon. So basically, like all of these pop-up cities are happening for 3 to 4 weeks before DevCon, and Chiang Mai will be like an Ethereum city for a solid month. So I plan to be there. I think there's going to be a lot of others. So if you're available and free and able and willing to go to Chiang Mai, which is a cool city, that could be cool to check out. Other than that, I would say show up to DevCon a couple days early at least, so you can participate in some of the side events that are happening before DevCon, and maybe plan to stay a couple days later so you can participate in the ones that are happening after DevCon. There will be a hackathon organized by ETH Global, so that's separate from DevCon, but will happen right after DevCon. So that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that should be pretty cool. So yeah, it's like come early, stay late. And maybe just to add on to like what you said about it being not just for experts, it is very true. So we aim to have like a good portion of the schedule be for beginners on a lot of topics, so we can try to make this more accessible for everyone, and not just for developers. Also, like I get this podcast probably is for a lot of developers, but like it's not just for developers. So if you want to bring your friends who are like semi interested in crypto and learning more, this is a good event for them to like see the good side of crypto and like what is possible here to positively impact the world. Yeah.
I think it should be like mandatory. If you've been in the Ethereum world for 3 years, you should bring a non-Ethereum friend to an event. So I try to bring some of my friends. I don't know if most people will come to Thailand. It's a bit far, but like especially like the local events, I think people should definitely like bring their friends. But just like quick questions before we move on to the next topic is where can be like you can find the DevCon tickets on the Devcon website, but where can people learn about the events, like the pop-up cities? Is there like a central repository where I can go to and find them, or do you know any of such resources?
That's a good question. I think they're working on actually some website right now to list all of them. I know a couple off the top of my head are like Edge City Lana is one of them. If you Google that, there's Invisible Garden. There's Shanghai Wu. There is one around Eigenlayer and Megaeth, I think. And I think like actually one group that is helping publicize all of these is called ETH Pad Thai. They maybe have the best ETH logo of all of the worldwide. And so they can on Twitter, they publicize a lot of these pop-up cities that are happening in Chiang Mai.
That's awesome. So you said also that to come early and stay late. I have a bunch of kids, so I have to, my window of travel is pretty small, right? And that reminds me that I haven't been to a lot of DevCons. My wife figures out how to time pregnancies to not allow me to go to DevCon. I've missed Osaka and Bogota because of having children. But I think that one of my favorites was Prague, being up on that big building and seeing across the city and just being there with all of these like Ethereum minded people. But there's definitely this moment of like, what does it take to organize this? Like, how do you find the events? How do you organize all of this? I know you have a team, but you must have people like on the ground early that are just like sniffing out all these different locations. How do you go about like making these decisions of like, this is the venue, like this is the place where the magic happens?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, we have a team of like 16 people right now as our Devcon team. They're from, actually, we just did the number, we did the calculation. They're from 13 countries. So it's like a pretty diverse team working on this event, which is pretty cool. And yeah, we couldn't do it without them. And yeah, I mean, like we do a lot of like, just to find a venue with like, that works for us with the right availability is very difficult. So like, yeah, we have to do a lot of searching, a lot of touring, a lot of evaluation. And like, it's more than just venue. It's also things like visa accessibility, right? So Thailand actually has extremely friendly visa policies for most places around the world, which is really, really enticing for us to host Devcon there. It's got a really good international airport, a lot of connections there. It's safe. It is, yeah. And there's a pretty active local community there. So all of those things were interesting for us.
It's awesome. Even things like knowing from ETH Global, like the internet, like sometimes the internet is bad, and how you build up all that infrastructure for all these people, all these like nerds to come in and expect like nerd level internet is tough for sure.
Yeah.
So let's speak about the nerds. Let's talk about the developers a little bit. Specifically for developers, I know there's going to be some community-led sessions. I know some of these talks are like actually workshops. When I look at the formats, some of them are just like lightning talks, some of them are talks, but there's a lot of workshops. Like there's even like maybe 3-hour workshops. I feel like there's like 1.5-hour workshops and like 3-hour. Like you can get a lot done in a 3-hour workshop. So I'm imagining this isn't just come hang out with your friends. This is like bring a laptop and come build and learn. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah. So if you're a developer, you should bring your laptop and you should plan on walking out of there like with some really new skills, or at least enough knowledge to go back and to know what to research and know what to practice. And yeah, I would say definitely plan to bring your laptop, plan to like walk away with new knowledge, but also like new friends and new connections, right? So like there's like, so you mentioned that just meeting up with people, Eda, is like a really cool part of Devcon. I definitely would say that's true. We have other parts of Devcon, like a decompression room where you can go relax, listen to nice music. We have like a hacker cave with like really like, zoned in vibes. We'll have some live music represented like done by different members of the global Ethereum community, which will be cool. There will be some fun activations from like the Frog crypto people, or like from around programmable cryptography. So Frog crypto, if you were around for Devconnect, will be back, new and improved. And we'll have community hubs like representing, I think 10, 12 different communities, everything from like DeSci to hacktivism, to open source movements, to how to run a node. Will all have their individual community hubs and be there all 4 days to help guide you or give you more information or welcome you to their communities.
I remember in the Devcon Bogota, there was like a group which was having like a capture the flag challenge, and some people were just doing that challenge for like the full time. Like if you definitely need your laptop, and like you can have all these different tracks to participate. But Skylar, can you talk a bit about like the ticketing, like where people can find the tickets? I know there's like really generous discounts to like some communities and like builder discounts, etc. But just can you give like an overview of where people can go and like get their tickets for Devcon?
Yeah, definitely. So devcon.org is definitely a place to learn everything out about Devcon. We have general admission tickets go on sale every 2 weeks, and they are priced at like $599. But if you are a builder, which I would assume a lot of the people listening to this podcast probably are, you can apply for a builder discount through the website, which will give you a 50% discount. So you'll get a half off ticket. And if you are a local builder, so like meaning you're from the Southeast Asia region or South Asia region, you can apply for an even further discounted ticket. If you're a student, there's also discounts. Professor, also discounts. And so yeah. But yeah, then I guess that also includes like the whole conference experience, free food, lunch, everything is provided. Some cool swag. We're pretty stoked about the swag this year. And yeah, good friends, good times, knowledge.
Speaking of BuidlGuidl tickets, or speaking of tickets, the BuidlGuidl also got some discounts. If you participate in BuidlGuidl, if you've gone through the speed run, you can go to BuidlGuidl, which is BuidlGuidl, BuidlGuidl.com/Devcon. And if you're a general BuidlGuidl member, I think there's a 50% discount. And I think if you've gone through our whole batch program, which is like Speedrun Ethereum, the batch program, the grants program, it's like a huge discount, right? You guys, it's like 50 USD or something like that to come. So we definitely also have some really good discounts internally for BuidlGuidl members. So go to BuidlGuidl.com/Devcon. I feel like this is a little bit of a commercial. You gotta show.
We had a lot of like advertisements in this.
Yes.
But no, I totally, yes. You should definitely check out, like, there's definitely a lot of discounted tickets. So good to check them out. And yeah, one thing which you also mentioned, Skylar, it's more like an event where the day full time goes at the event itself and not many side events during like the daytime at least. So you'll mostly like be spending most of your time at Devcon, and then maybe like before or after there will be other side events. But I think that's pretty unique about Devcon, like consider like from the other conferences that I've been to. But one more question. So for people who can't like go to Thailand at that time, will it be like live streamed or will the videos be recorded? Like how can they engage online?
Yeah, so every room will be live streamed. So we'll have all the live streamed and recorded. So we'll post them all afterwards as well. So if you really can't make it, if it's too far, like there will be content available to you. We would also like, in fact, maybe this is alpha, but we're going to be announcing a Devcon satellites round. So like if anyone's interested in hosting a watch party or like a viewing party, even of like the recordings, if not for the live stream, like you will be able to apply for some funds to host a satellite event, like a satellite watch party for Devcon. So that can happen either during Devcon or even a couple weeks after if you want to like get people together and recap things that happen at Devcon. So keep an eye out for that on our newsletter or Twitter.
That's awesome. Okay, so you alluded to this a couple of times, and I feel like I gotta ask it because I think it's such a fun question, and it's just, this is a good closer probably, and it's just like, what makes the Ethereum community so special? Like, it seems like this is really about encapsulating that Ethereum vibe, but like, what is it? What makes it so special?
Oh man, yeah.
I mean,
I think there's just so many things. I mean, for one, I'd probably say like, probably it comes back to the values. Like I think everyone in Ethereum is really working on this because they think this is like Ethereum has the potential to positively impact humanity. And like this is probably thanks to the values that Ethereum embraces, like this, like open and global accessibility, like credible neutrality, like anti-censorship, privacy. Like these are things that are super important for Ethereum. And with these things, like if we can build a tool that has all these things and that is like unstoppable, accessible worldwide, like there are certain things that there's a lot of things that can help with in this world, and in a lot of places. And so I think like that's one thing, like we should have shared values. Another thing is that there's people all over the world who are working on Ethereum. Like Ethereum probably has one of the most global communities of like maybe any project. Like it is incredible the number of people that would be coming to this event and from which countries they'll be coming from. And so like this is definitely something that makes Ethereum super unique. It's just like the diverse backgrounds and diverse countries from which they will come. But like the fact that they share like these values and this mission. And all of this will be like the focus of Devcon. There won't be any trading or like token price. It'll be like, how can we use Ethereum to make a positive impact on this world? And hopefully most people will leave quite inspired and like educated and capable to like actually go do that.
You really drop into like really good conversations with folks. Speaking of that, like all these people are like really into cypherpunk ideals and making the world freer and making the world more credibly neutral and connected, and coordination mechanisms, all this stuff. Like you immediately run into someone and it's not like, oh man, it's humid here, let's talk about the weather and stuff that we could probably like spar on at like this level. It's like directly into like, do you need Ethereum to run Polymarket? Like, what does a prediction market really take? And what are the regulations and what's holding it back? Like, those are the conversations you dive into with people as soon as you get there. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited.
On that note, also, we didn't mention this, but there will be even like an entire day. There'll be a community-led session around DAC, so like defensive accelerationism. So like adjacent to Ethereum specifically, but like around like the whole AI debate, right? Like AI is coming, like we need to focus on defensive technologies. Like technology is good. We should focus on defensive technologies. Crypto is one of those things, like is a defensive technology naturally. Like we are giving power to the people, to the individual. But there's a lot more too. So like there will be a lot of AI experts there. There'll be some interesting biodefense people coming. So like how can we prevent more vaccines in the future and like things like that. So it'll be a really interesting and I think unique crypto conference, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I think this was a great intro on what to expect, where people can find more information. And yeah, just to call out one more time, like I think going to like these in real life events, especially when you work remotely and with such a like different group from different peoples, it makes a lot of difference to like meet in real life. You just learn about new projects, like what's trendy in the industry. So I'm personally very, very excited for it. And if you can make it, you should definitely make it to Thailand. But Skylar, this was so fun. Thank you again for coming on. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you at Devcon.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Eda. Thank you so much, Austin. This was fun.
Thanks for coming on. Let's go to Devcon. See you all in Bangkok. Let's go.